Hi, my name is Anna Revisi. I'll be doing a presentation of the postmodernism. What is a postmodernism and the characteristic of the postmodernism, and I'll be discussing the examples and how the top moderns is a postmodernism play. First thing first, I'll be giving you a definition of what is a postmodernism. A postmodernism is the word postmodernism. It's a word postmodernism. It's also spelled postmodernism. It's a movement that in the late 20th century in philosophy and literary theory that is generally questioned. The basic of the assumption of the Western philosophy in the modern period around the 17th and the 19th century. The word postmodernism has a lot of definition and explanation. What postmodernism I understand is that it is a style and a concept of art, criticism, and architecture that represents the departure from the modernism, and it is characterized by the self-conscious use of the earlier styles and convention and mixing the different styles. Artists and media and a general discard of the theories. The word of the postmodernism, it is actually part of the problem, has to do with the post, because the prefix of the post in the term, it can be indicated in the range of the relationship with something that comes before. This indicates that something comes after something else, but that one thing has ended and another began. Post also indicates that one thing also another preceding another, its influence and effect. Firstly, the postmodernism was a movement in the architecture that rejected the modernism grand passion for the new. I understand the word modernism is understood in architecture, not in architecture only, but in arts as a project of reaction tradition in favor of going. Why? It is because when no man has gone before of the better to create forms of no other purpose of the novelty. The individuality and the first modernism violence of the new, it was rejected by the architecture postmodernism in the early of 60s and 50s for the convention reason. The reason is that they wanted to maintain the element of the modern utility while returning to the researching classical forms of the past. The result of this is that it was iron brick, a brand of collage approach to construction that combines evil. I understand that the postmodernism is a movement that is basically focuses on the reality of the individual, denies statements that claim to be true for all people, and it often expresses in a pared down in style, in arts, literature, and culture. The post in postmodernism suggests after, because the postmodernism is understood at its question of the ideas and the values associated with a form of modernism that's believed in the process of innovation, and modernism exists of the clear divide between art and popular. The postmodernism, it has elements and the characters, and remember that the postmodernism is a rejection and a very idea of objective and universal of the truth in the favor of subjective experience and flexible. Now I'm going to discuss the characteristic of postmodernism, and there are many characteristics of postmodern, and the difference between postmodernism and modernism is the rejection of the minimalism that is characterized modern art and architecture, and with idealism in the postmodernism. This one is an idea that the reality is defined by fiction and not the other way around. The word nihilism postmodernism suggests that life it has no other objective. Why? It's because the perhaps leave the door open to subject the meaning by the each individual and other characteristic. We have ideology and idea that each individual has the right to create their own ideology and enforce it in their dealing with society. Because of the similar of the characteristic of the postmodernism and modernism, it's become confused to differentiate one from the other. It will be easy if I discuss the characteristic of the postmodernism in compare and contrast to the modernism. The modernism and the postmodernism, they both believe that there is a view that there's no absolute truth, and the truth is relative, because the postmodernism asserts that the truth is not in the mirror in the human understanding, but it's rather be inner change. For example, in the classical work such as the King Oedipus, there is only one truth that is obeyed by faith. This word is the postmodernism. Works such as Waiting for Rostock, there is no such thing absolute truth. All the things are relative. So the difference between the two of the postmodernism and modernism and postmodernism and modernism is that modernism is attempt to profound the truth about the experience in life, while the postmodernism is suspicious of being profound because such ideas and based to one particular Western value system, and modernism attempts to find the depth and the interior meaning beneath the surface of the event and object, while the postmodernism prefer to dwell on the exterior image and avoid the drawing conclusion of the suggestion underlining the meaning associated with the interior of the events. So now I'm going to talk about the play of the Top Girls. The Kelly Churchill play Top Girls is particularly its first act center on the various women from history, fiction, art, and mythology who gather in the restaurant to celebrate the promotion of the Marlin. The protagonist of the play, the dinner scene, is marked by the lack of understanding between the characters and the inability of each one of the change into the other's perspectives. The book is written by Perry Churchill and it was published in 1982 by Milton London. The characters in the play, they live strongly and differ, recorded that they live in the different securities, connect different classes and countries and different educational backgrounds. They also connected through extraordinary experience of oppression, suffering, and having to make the certain compromises, and most of all did not live a happy life. The life of the woman, they are defined between her normality and the wish of its self-determination. The reason that the Top Girls is a postmodernism play is that the ideas of the Top Girls name from all kinds of things. They've been an idea of the play. It's that the ideas of the Top Girls came from all kinds of things. They've been all ideas of the play about the dead woman having a coffee with someone who's from the present. Now I'm going to show the characters of the women are Isabella, Nijo, Joanne, and Grisella, Pope, and Kate Shona. These are the top women in the play. Act 3, Joy's Kitchen, Sunday evening at the Elia. Nijo is one night at my father supposed 3 rounds of the 3 cups, which was normal, and then the emperor should have said 3 rounds of the 3 cups, but has 3 rounds of the 9 cups so that can imagine. The emperor passes his said cup my face and said, the example here is let the wild goose come to me, the springs, meaning metaphorical allusion, meaning bring her and nature to my bed. Another example of the character of Joanne is say, damnation of meanings, ignorance of the truth. I was always attracted by the teaching of John the Scots. Throughout, he was inclined to confuse God and worth of the meaning of the John Scott is a 13th century philosopher, and the theoretical his date indicates the extent of the Churchill investment with the recurrent to the Pope. So basically, this is the over-representation of the postmodernism and what is the postmodernism, and the others are in the Word document. The other examples are in the Word document. Who is Churchill, who was born, things like that. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you.